Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tonight. I'm your host, Andrew Tandoadote, and it's time for my next guests. Ladies and gentlemen, these beautiful ladies have been causing a stir on social media. Now they're here to tell us what they're all about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the ladies of the Pepper Dem Ministries. Okay. Hey. You're welcome. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Wow. The Pepper Dem ladies. Ladies have been causing a lot of trouble on social media. Pardon? Moko show. Is that like the motto or something? Pepper Dem. Moko show.
Yeah.
No.
It's not. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Unlearning toxic narratives.
Okay. It's not Moko show.
No.
But then we salute this way.
Somehow that sounded a bit. Okay. Let's try that. Pepper Dem. That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
But before we get into the reason why you ladies are all over the place in social media, let's get to know you ladies a bit. Yeah? Introduce yourselves to our audience, and let's see. Let's start with you, madam.
My name is Efua Sintim.
Efua Sintim.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I'm a compliance professional. I've been to it for about 2.5 years.
Compliance professional.
Yes, compliance. So regulatory compliance.
Okay.
Yes. So just ensuring that businesses are compliant with their regulatory bodies.
Because it sounded, to a layman, compliance professional sounds like, oh, you comply.
Yes, and I'm a law student as well.
Okay.
So,
lovely,
yeah.
lovely. And you, madam?
Hi, my name is Efe Planch,
Efe
and I am a social media activist. I speak on gender. I'm a scholar of rhetoric, but my research area is usually in women, but then women in popular culture. So I run a blog called Sankofa Reviews, and I'm currently working as a consultant with the Ministry of Tourism.
You said you are an expert on rhetoric.
Yes.
So nobody can beat you when it comes to that bluffle. No, be so. Okay, welcome. And you?
Okay, my name is Amazing Grace Danso. Amazing Grace is my real name.
Amazing Grace Danso. That's your real name?
My real name.
Give it up for her. Amazing Grace.
Feel the spirit.
Good voice.
Yes, I do. I do some small acting on the side.
Oh, okay.
Pardon? Oh, I hear you do some acting as well. Oh, okay. Where?
Well, an Amazing Grace, though.
Pardon?
Yeah, no, you stole my thunder.
Yeah, sorry. She stole my. Sorry. Let's talk about you now.
No problem. I work as the operations coordinator at the African Center for Economic Transformation, and I'm also a social media activist. Gender activism is quite passionate and dear to my heart. And I also write. I blog as well. I blog on grief, the Grief Relief blog, where I talk about many issues relating to grief in general, based on my own personal grief. Yeah.
So how did the three of you, and there's more of you, I know,
yes.
but how did the three of you get to become part of this movement? Let's start with you. How were you like somewhere and you heard about this, or
Okay, so I, on social media for about the last 3 to 4 years, I have been talking a lot about gender issues, gender inequalities, social narratives that tend to foster these gender stereotypes. I've been doing this, I've been in the game for a very long time. But in those times, it looks as if, you're all alone. And just somewhere last year, it's like we just started finding each other. Because I realized Efe was also on her own, doing something. And there's Louis, there's Amma. It's like we all just started finding each other. And, we just decided, oh, let's just hang out, let's meet, and the friendship, the bond started. So so it's like we've all been doing this in our own little spaces until we started finding each other. So call it some kind of cosmic thing.
Okay, and the same goes for you
Yeah,
too.
so yes, it's very simple. We just, even when we hadn't discovered each other, people who know us, maybe mutual friends who know that we're actually thinking alike or we talk about the same issues, you know, would link us up. Hey, Ifwa, or they'll tag maybe Ifwa or Louis Carroll or somebody, Amazing Grace, in my post. Come and check Ife out. She's also saying these same things. And then, you know, we just happen to find ourselves and then we took it up from there.
Okay, Pepper Dem Ministries. Let's talk about that. The name sounds very aggressive. It's like there's a repeated kind of... Actually, was that the intention?
That's not the intention, but sometimes you need to get people's attention. And you need to do something that is very unconventional to get that attention. And I think that is what the word did. That wasn't really what the goal was, because Pepper was our own... It was our own inside joke. You know, so it's, hey, Pepper, this one, you know. And then gradually it started becoming... We coined a hashtag out of it, and then became, you know, the dominance thing. And all of a sudden, people started attributing that to us. Then we said, oh, okay, let's just take the name.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing Grace.
Yes.
There's unlearning toxic narratives. That's the motto of Pepper Dem Ministries. What are some of these toxic narratives that we need to unlearn?
Okay, right off the bat, one of the ones that really got us started was women are their own enemies. You know, you hardly ever hear people talking about men are their own enemies when some kind of altercation or fracas happens between two men. But whenever it happens between two ladies, heaven forbid women being able to have disagreements, it has to be something about the agenda. So we use a hashtag, men are their own enemies, to throw some light onto this issue, and that's where we flip the script back onto...
Flipping the script.
Yeah, flipping the script, that's where that really came from. So that's one big one. Another toxic narrative is this idea that women are born to, like, you know, work in the kitchen just by virtue of the agenda. It's like cooking is a basic skill, human skill. Everyone needs to know how to cook to survive, to eat. If you are stranded on a deserted island, are you going to wait for a woman to show up to cook something for you to survive? No. So these are some of the few ones that we're really throwing lights on.
Now, there are some who have quite a few people who have an issue with you. They're saying you are too out there, you're too aggressive and all that. And as ladies, you have the power of persuasion. You don't need to come out and face people. You have the ability to change, to effect change from the inside. So why are you choosing this approach of, you know, coming in from the outside?
Well, this expectation, that in itself is another gendered expectation. I mean,
Really?
if you look on our media landscape, radio, TV, everywhere, there's all these men, influential men, very popular. They're hosts. Some of them are special guests. Some of them are regular guests on shows. They have all these personalities. They are very aggressive. They, you know, and vociferous. They are very bold, and yet we are still able to appreciate what they do. We're still able to ignore their personas and listen to the message. You understand?
Yes.
But when it comes to some of these things, we only expect it of males. Boldness, confidence, assertiveness. We expect it only from men. And we expect that as for women, even when you're angry, you should be smiling. Even when you're sad, you should be smiling. Even when you're being frustrated, you should be smiling. That is the only way that people are ready to listen to you. And we are saying that no. Some of us, the way we were brought up, we cannot, otherwise we cannot survive. And so we are, by being ourselves, we're also encouraging other young women out there who don't fit into that stereotype, that box of womanhood, which is womanhood as servitude, a certain forced kind of servitude, of womanhood as fragile, timid, you know. We're out there for women like that.
All right, we're going to go through some of the phrases that really get your blood pumping. So I want you to tell me what you think is wrong with this statement and what we can do to change it. We'll go very quickly. So we'll start with Amazing Grace.
Okay.
If you misbehave, no man will marry you.
That's a great one. This whole idea that marriage is the end goal and end game of every woman is one that we've been trying to really shatter, because women are more than what they can do in terms of marriage. We can achieve great things. We can be pilots. We can be all these things we dare to be. And people say that as a way to silence us. And we're saying enough of that. I mean, what's if I misbehave, you won't marry me, so what?
Okay.
I mean, marriage is not going to sustain my life.
Can I add on to that? So we live in a culture where marriage is marketed differently to the genders. As early as 5 years old, as a girl, everything you do has implications on who will marry you and who will not marry you, and whether you're going to land someone. And then also we make it seem like marriage, when a woman is in a relationship or a woman's life, a woman's life is some sort of audition for marriage, which it doesn't play out for men in that way. And so I feel that in many ways we're not raising women and men up to be compatible, because you're raising one to be so obsessed with commitment and marriage, and the other one doesn't really care. And then we grow up and we are these women who have been made, who have been raised to care so much about commitment, and you're with men who don't care. Or who don't have the same...
One thing that even weaves into that is why you have, in a marriage, it is expected of the woman to be all accommodating. Even if your man is messing up, your man is cheating, your man is beating on you, you're supposed to be the woman.
Wow.
Because you're supposed to sit down. You're supposed to pray for him. You're supposed to pray about it. Go to the war room. You see, it all feeds into that, because women are now being taught to, it's like marriage is everything.
We've made marriage mean more to women
than it means to
men. So if you start prompting little girls with everything they do having implications on marriage, then what's the point really of telling them, oh, dream, go to school, you can be this, when at the end of the day, marriage is going to be the defining factor.
But do you think these ideologies still hold in 2017?
They do.
They
Really?
do.
Was it just last year during elections when I think one candidate of a sort said he challenged who?
He challenged
Hannah Tete that she should come and show her husband before she can actually stand on the same level with him and have arguments or whatever.
That was, coming from a so-called progressive.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, you have all these middle-class people whom you expect so much from, but then the other ones even reinforcing these stereotypes. And you start to ask yourself, no, when one care? Because I thought we were educated. I thought that was back in the 50s.
So even us, people have asked us, you these single little girls, you've not been married and you're talking about these issues and go sit somewhere. When you marry, we can,
it's like go sit somewhere. When you're married, then we can listen to you.
Exactly.
Wow. So and the funny thing is, some of our members are actually married women. Who are living the kind
very
of marriage we
lives.
think is fulfilling and egalitarian.
Wow. Give it up for the ladies. I really wish we could continue, because there were so many phrases, but
just give us one more.
Oh no! Unfortunately, our time we're short on time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go for a commercial break. We will be right back.